Tony Britt Spotter Charts serves sports media exclusively with customized cheat sheets for both prep and game time. Serving over 350 clients at all major networks, 23 NFL teams, and 68 college football programs, including Division II, Division III, and NAIA schools. Variable pricing ensures that small schools receive the same VIP service as ABC, CBS, ESPN, Fox, NBC, and the NFL Network. Ray's Barbershop provides first-class service, haircutting, and shaves since 2010. With 6 locations located within the Quad Cities area, Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad Cities' favorite barbershop year after year. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure your level of satisfaction is met. You won't find the Ray's experience anywhere else. Stop in today and let them help you reinvent yourself. Well, welcome to the Viking Press Pass. I am Matthew Nickel, and joining me today, ahead of the Carthage game, senior tight end for the Vikings, Jake Miller. So, Jake, appreciate you fitting me in here today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It's an honor, man.
Absolutely. No, it's a ton of fun. I knew as soon as that Wesleyan, game got over, I was like, I got to get Jake on. Like that's just too good of a game not to have you on. Well, let's talk a little bit about, the Vikings are 6-2 overall right now. Awesome win. I talked with Ethan earlier in the week, big win, 42-21. You had an awesome game. 3 touchdowns. I think I got a picture, behind every touchdown there for you and on the infographic there. So, tell me just a little bit about, the game and what your thoughts were on playing the Titans.
Yeah, so going into it, and I really never know if I'm going to get too many touches, if we're going to get to those plays that involve me and Brett quite a bit. But whether it's the run game for us or if it's just the pass game for us, we're trying to succeed our best. And then when we got into the red zone and I saw the signals coming in from our backup cues, I kind of had a good feeling I was going to score in those three touchdowns. Jones dialed them up pretty well, played out perfect.
Now, did the offensive game plan change a bit going into the game this weekend? Because, one of the things that I always send out is these I started putting them in the Augie tailgate, but just my offensive keys to the game that I think a little bit about going in. And one of the things I put down was around just how big their secondary actually is. I mean, they're 6'2", and I said, man, this could be a good opportunity for you to kind of exploit some of these linebackers and exploit probably some of maybe the man coverage that they might play. And I mean, I'm not gonna say I called it, but I called it. 5 for 59, and 5 of those or 3 of those receptions were touchdowns. So how did the game plan kind of change going into it, or was it a very similar approach offensively?
I would say we stuck to our game plan for the most part. That's why we were successful. Jones is always going to dial us up, right? So he put us in the right spot. He's putting in hours and hours and hours on film. So he's always has us dialed. And if we stick to his plan, if we master it throughout the week, we're going to be sitting pretty well when it comes Saturday at 1 o'clock or noon. So, yeah, we try to stick to it, up front with me and the O-line and Brett. If we handle business down in the trenches, we should be pretty solid.
Absolutely. I mean, why do you think it's been such a great year for, you in the tight end spot, just in the passing game, this year?
Honestly, a big role is Jimmy coming out and finding us. Me and him have put together a really strong connection these past, 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So, it's been nice having him back there. And then, the O-line's always doing their job, which gives him time to find me. And if that's just me leaking out for a dump down, it's always nice after my pass protections. He's always rolling out, and then he'll find me on a late connection, and I'll go pick up our yardage, hopefully get that first down.
Well, I'll I have to share this. Let's say I'll leave the tight ends. Who I got some text from. I'll let them remain anonymous here. But he said I texted him this morning and I said, you were coming on first tight end after this great week. Um, and the text read, "Man, he can really play. Tell him the tight ends of Augie's past are jealous of his touches." So, um, but really it's like, you go back to like 2023. I think you had a catch in 2022, but, 3 for 27 yards and a pair of touchdowns. One game in 2023. You had four total that year. Then last year, you had like what, nine receptions, I think, for 119 yards and a touchdown. This year, 20 receptions, 238, six touchdowns. I mean, you went into that game right with just three. You pulled three out of it. And I actually went back. I was like, man, I really wanted to go back and see when was the last time, um, a tight end had put up some great production like that. I was like, okay, I wonder if it was like Travis Temple during my time. No, it wasn't. It was right before, really was probably Chris Sally. So Max Castle's uncle, essentially. Um, he had four touchdowns, I think it was, versus Wheaton back in 2000. So, um, yeah, how do you feel like, especially this year, like that tight end position, is truly something that defenses, um, they have to start to game plan for. I mean, how do you feel like it's fitting in so well?
I mean, we love being in our two tight end set. I think we get our most production out of that with whether that's me or Brett blocking or running our routes. I mean, like having that tight end there is it's unpredictable on what they're gonna do. It's whether they're gonna stay in and pass protect or if they're gonna be in the run block game or they're gonna go out and make a play. You look at Carroll and they're great with their guy. I want to say his name is Reed. He's been doing a great
Yep.
job and he always has been. So I mean, we're very versatile. So I mean, it's great. It's probably the best position in football if you ask me.
Well, that's originally what I went to when I went to Augie. Um, I was originally recruited to play tight. Well, I went in playing tight end. But then I had to like line up against, our DN Mike Brazil and our other tight end was Jim Treveri, who I was like a mini Lou Ferrigno is kind of why he was like the biggest guy I think I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go play secondary. Like I'm like a buck 85 soaking wet. So I'm gonna
Yeah, I was almost
go.
in the same boat. I was almost in the same boat. Lining up against Chase as a freshman, that was something I was never thinking college football was going to be like. If I'm all honest,
Yeah, how have you, gotten better kind of over the years? I know like the size and the strength comes right, just through the lifting program and stuff like that. But you think about you today versus 2 or 3 years ago. How have you gotten better over your career and kind of going into this senior season?
I think just breaking it down to more like a technical standpoint. So, like with my feet and my hands, I think I've gotten so much better throughout my 4 years here. Last year, I would say they lacked quite a bit, and I kind of spent my whole spring ball season wanting to get better on just my all like my fundamentals basically with my feet and hands. I worked a lot with Ragone and Jones about getting better at that because I mean, being effective in the run game just opens us up for the pass game, and who doesn't want to catch passes? So I got to get better at that. Those small little things, so I can succeed more.
I mean, being a great blocker right at the tight end spot keeps you on the field, and then
Yeah,
that additionally is going to give you the opportunity, right, to run those routes. So you gotta be great at blocking if you want if you want the chance to go out, right? I mean,
yeah. If you want the rock, you got to block, huh?
yeah, that's a good statement.
Yeah.
Um, now, um, how has been working with Coach Brandon Johnston? he came to, Augustana. He was a head coach at Sherrard. He graduated in 2006. So he was a year behind when I graduated. I didn't really get to know Brandon a whole lot. What's it been like just, working with him this year and him, joining the staff as the tight end coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. He brings a lot to the game and a lot to the position that we don't know before, or just kind of to remind us. As a senior, I mean, I would say I know quite a bit about the offense and how everything works now. But he helps a lot with those younger guys and getting those guys in the right spot, which is awesome. That's kind of what we needed. In the past, I mean, Coach Blair, we've had him. We don't get the jokes from Coach Johnston that we did from Coach. But overall, Johnston's awesome. He's a great guy to talk to and a great guy to lean on when you need some help or something.
I like it. I like it. Um, I was thinking about this weekend and kind of where the Vikings are at. Um, go up, um, go beat Carthage. WashU beats North Park. Then next, Saturday in Rock Island becomes essentially the Isthmus Bowl qualifier. Um, Now you played in that game before, when because you were been a sophomore,
Sophomore.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, as you think about that team versus um, the team today, what do you think is maybe different? And I don't want to say better because that's not the right word, but just what do you think is different about maybe how this team is playing or how the team would approach, potentially that game that, you know, if you guys get the bid?
I would say, I mean, we're fun. We like having fun and like joke around with a lot of people. So I think we would have fun with it leading up to the week. But then once Friday hit, Friday and Saturday, that's when we know it's all business. So we always lock in right then and there. So, I mean, I think everyone would just be happy to play an extra game this year, and going forward. Uh, I don't really know how it would be with us this crew. You never know if you're gonna get these serious guys, or sitting back more relaxed and having fun with each other and just trying to stay to ourselves. How it goes. And yeah, I mean, it's relaxing. It's relaxing with the guys. So yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I just think a little bit about like, the approach to that game. It was probably, exciting, cool to go do something like that. The folks that are on the team now, large part, got to experience it. So kind of the bright lights of, playing that extra game and it's probably just a little bit different, right? Like, I think about, how going and doing, do a field walkthrough or, um, even just kind of the mental preparation going into it. I don't know. I'm always kind of curious just to see like how that, it's like the first time a team goes to a playoff game, right? It's like, it's so cool, it's so exciting. You want to kind of take it in, um, but sometimes you leave prep, maybe on the table perhaps, or you want to go out and have fun, um, and then you forget, oh, I really need to be dialed into, how I'm sleeping, what I'm eating, and you kind of break some of those rhythms and some of those patterns that make you so successful. Because people are pattern or you're built on patterns. So, um, yeah, just kind of a question I had. I was thinking a little bit about
Yeah.
going into that game.
Yeah, for me, in high school, I never got to experience Illinois playoffs or anything. We were not the best high school program, but we had fun. So I mean, looking back at sophomore year, I really took it in like a lot. I've never played a postseason game, so I thought that was the coolest experience ever. I think I took it in a little too much, so I think we get back to that this year. It's going to be all business for sure.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be probably is going to be stout. I think is probably
Yeah,
likely in line. So again, a different team, and I also think like, man, we hit Platteville on their like ascend. Like
Yeah.
they were ascending strong. So I mean, they were, they came back and won the conference next, last year, and obviously they're doing well again this year. So it's like, yeah, we caught them on a pretty strong upswing. And to say that within the WIAC is, I mean, it's saying something. So, and I think too, like we were a young team and we had a lot of injuries, going into that game as well. Um, so I feel like, so far we've been a fairly healthy team. We had a few folks go down, of course, but I think generally a lot of folks have really stepped up and done a really nice job for the team this year. It's been good. Um, excuse me. So let's talk a little bit about. I mean, man, you're going up to Wisconsin. The weather's starting to change. I mean, potential, rain, sleet, snow. I mean, we're kind of getting to that point now where it's like, it could be 5 degrees outside, could still be 65 degrees. You never really know. Um, Jimmy Zickus, I mean, he likes it in the 50s, some overcast. What about you? What kind of weather do you like to play in?
I like the beginning of the year. I like it when it's warmer out. I always I like going down to the beach. I think that's where my happy place is. And when it's hot out, it makes me think about that. So yeah, the heat. I'm more of a fan of the heat than the cold. That's for sure. But I'm a fan of the cold this week. I get to play football on it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Um, let's shift gears a little bit. In high school, you were a three-sport athlete: football, baseball, basketball. Um, let's talk a little bit about the baseball side because you and I think three others were, represented Canton in that Peoria McDonald's, baseball all-star game. Tell me a little bit about like that experience and your baseball days.
yeah, that was one heck of an experience. I got to go over there with three of my closest friends. So some of my closest friends, and I got to play at Dozier Park, which many people might not know. It's a minor league field for the Peoria Chiefs. So yeah, it was cool to play there. I've never played there before. That was the first game I ever played. I got to have a walk up song for the first time that I did not get to choose though, which kind of stunk. But
I was going to ask what was the song, but what they choose
yeah,
for you?
but
Do you remember?
no, I don't remember. It might have been Hot for Teacher Van Halen, but I can't remember
That's
100%.
fair.
It was good though. It got me fired up.
All right.
But I looked up and I saw my picture up on the scoreboard, so that was pretty cool. I think I caught 3 or 4 innings in that game, which was pretty sick. So yeah, and then yeah, going through my high school year, baseball was pretty fun. I mean, you can't beat baseball, honestly. It's so much fun to play and practice because it's kind of relaxing for the most part. Your body doesn't hurt all that much, and all your boys play in high school too. So it's fun playing with them. I'm trying to think. And then there's a kid up down in Canton right now. It's committed to U of I, which I'm definitely going to come out and watch a game for them this year. Want to see what he's all about. Catch a game or two. Coach Emery's down there still, so he's pretty close to the family too. So he's a great guy.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, how'd you
Yeah.
do? I didn't pull up the box score looking, but how'd you do in that All-Star game?
I think I only got like 1 or 2 at bats. I got hit by a pitch and then a walk probably. So it was kind of got on base. That on base percentage is 1,000 in All Star games, so that's pretty good.
I mean, you can lean on
And
that,
then
right?
yeah, I can leave on that. Never go broke for taking a profit. But yeah, I can't remember if I got to catch one of my buddies. I can't remember 100% sure, but I think I caught him in like the bottom of the seventh, which was a great experience looking back at it. Which experience I wish I could do all over again for sure.
Now, how did you get select? What do you remember? What the process was for the selection?
Yeah, I want to say it's like a pretty early on in the season selection. So I want to say you got to ball out in like the first quarter of the season, first half of the season maybe, and then I think your coach elects you for one of the people, and then like the committee, I'm sure probably selects out of the people out of the coaches who the coaches picked. And then
Now you
yeah, it
played.
was yeah because I played I was getting ready to play my first year with like a summer ball team, the Illinois Steel at the time, which is now the Wow Factor. So I was practicing with those guys all winter on Sunday. So I got to catch my buddy Nick Hanline, who's close, who played at Bradley for a little bit. So that was really cool.
I was gonna say, like, did you ever consider, trying to play baseball instead of football in college? I mean, did that ever kind of cross your mind, or?
Uh, my mom and dad really wanted me to, but my heart was always in football. I think I started in fifth grade and I just fell in love with it. They always try to convince me because I do like the heat. They're like you're always playing in warm weather for the most part. Whether because I know the baseball team they go down to like Florida twice a year, so I was like
Yeah,
kind of
it's
jealous of
selfish.
that.
Let's
But
be honest, mom and dad. It's selfish, right? You want a trip to Florida. I get it.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I did think about it a little bit. I probably would have went the JUCO route. There's a small JUCO in Canton, Spoon River College, so I probably would have went there and gotten better there and see where that led me after those 2 years.
Well, I mean, selfishly for me, and I think for Augustana, we're glad you chose football. So I'll stay in
Yeah,
your football camp.
yeah.
Now you played basketball as well. Now, it was kind of interesting, as I've been talking, to folks over the last year or two. Um, Sean Schlanter has been kind of known for his basketball game and being pretty talented there. Do you still like to go and play, like, go to intramural league or anything like that at all?
Oh yeah, we back to back champs and intramurals, the holy shots.
The holy
Best
shots.
team on campus. Yeah, best. I've got the shirt on right now. I don't
I
know how
like
you can
it.
see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. What
So yeah, I do enjoy playing.
who all was on that team?
So the team is me, Darren, Ethan, Vraybeck, Braden, Brett Holcomb. Who else? I'm missing people. Last year we had Mikey DeJoya, John Bolton, Tristan Carone, and then the previous year before that we had like Gorkin and Thomas Hall, which was a cheat code.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
We
got a good
played
squad.
for
I think
Bradley, so
yeah, we added Eli Myers this year and Jimmy McCoo, so we're looking to
all
bring
right.
back the title.
I like it. I like it. I mean, when you think about gosh, some of those intramural teams and some of those games, like, if you have height, I mean, because you're essentially playing everybody else, in college and in all the students. It's like if you have some height and some size, I mean, you can dominate some of those games. So that's always a ton of fun.
Yeah, we're taller than everyone. We also got Nate Henry too, so I forgot about him.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a cheat code.
Yeah. Um, um, so let's start off a little bit, around why did you eventually come to Augustana? Like, why did you choose it?
Well, first off, it's pretty close to home. I'm a big homebody. I like my parents have been great to me. My brother and sister have been all right, and my Jones was big on the reasoning, big on it. So was Coach Ragone. They both. I know Ragone came and saw me at school, and it came down. Honestly, just they made me feel very welcome, and they made me feel wanted, and that's something that was awesome. And when I came on an overnight, it was all the guys were there to dap me up, wanted to know about me, wanted to know who I am, what my interests are. So all in all, it just everyone says their school, their team's a family, but I got that feeling right when I came here, right when I stepped on campus. So it was really, really the number one choice from my first from my from any visits. It was my first visit and offer too, so that played a big role in it too. I thought.
Absolutely. Now, why did you go the business marketing, communications, route?
So I was very unsure of what I wanted to do, and still kind of am. So I'm still kind of floating around, But business, I always hear like how versatile it is, how like you can get connections with anyone, and they're always hiring business people. And then for the communications, I took a comm class. I took public speaking to get better at that, and then I kind of just fell in love with it. It's not the hardest, but you learn a lot of valuable communication skills and how to communicate with people in better ways. It kind of just makes the whole thing easier to talk to people. You learn why people do stuff, so why people say things and think different ways, which is unique to me. Which it's always I'm like big on like those crime documentaries, so I love watching those, and it kind of you kind of break it down, and it's like I kind of understand why they're doing that, kind of don't understand why they're doing that, which is it's unique. I mean, it's not just all chit chatting how everyone thinks it is. You got to get in depth sometimes in those classes.
Well, that was my yeah. I mean, that was my background. And obviously, I'm in talent acquisition and recruiting, so I'm constantly interviewing and talking. And heck, I was just at Augie Wednesday and talked to a class in Wallenberg over there in Dinkman. Um, yeah, what have you thought about just kind of post graduation? Have you started going down that path much?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on LinkedIn a little bit looking at things. My uncle's over at John Deere, so that's always been kind of a goal for me is to hopefully get on with them at some point. And then the more I've been through college, I've kind of thought about like maybe going the law enforcement route and looking at Illinois State Police a lot, which is definitely made my eyebrows rise a little bit because they post all the time about how they're needing officers and stuff, and
Hmm.
yeah, it looks good right on paper. It looks good on paper, but that's a grind. I mean, I've experienced it a lot with my dad being a cop, so I don't know if I really want to go down that route because he's away quite a bit. But you never know. You never know where it's going to lead you.
Yeah, and it reminds me a little bit of Cam Miller, from the baseball team. I think he was when he graduated. I think he was trying to get into the sheriff's office and kind of go that route too. So I think the great thing, man, is you have. I mean, world's your oyster, man. When you're done. So if something doesn't work out or feel right, guess what? You have a ton of time to change it. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
mine is funny. Mine was just like kind of happen chance that I ended up applying for a role, and then the person that called me because he was out in Colorado, um, said, "Well, what would you think about getting into recruiting?" Sure. I mean, I worked for Furlong and in the sports office, and I did a ton of on campus tours and recruiting phone calls and scheduling. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I just took it as a chance, and lo and behold, here I am still in talent acquisition, many years later. So,
Yeah.
right thing will come
You can't
along,
go wrong
right?
with talking. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously.
Um, a couple other topics I want to talk through. But I actually thought about this morning. Um, I was thinking about like, especially if we win this weekend, we come back, we host Wash U. And then I started thinking about like the basketball, the basketball home game, is next Tuesday against Wisconsin Lutheran. And the one thing I've noticed is like a very inconsistent game attendance. Um, how do you think we can get more students, to attend? Because I mean, it was for me when I was going there, like the basketball game was like the place to be. The football game was the place to be. But it doesn't. I don't know if it's just the busyness or the amount of conflicts that are going on at the same time. What do you think that whether it's Augie or the team or just how do you get like students in the community, more interested in attending some of those events?
Yeah. So I think I don't really know what goes on at halftime. I know that they have like the dance team or the Vikings, I think is what they call them. They come out and perform. But I think what drives students is rewards. So I think you bring them out. Have like a little field goal competition or maybe like a punt pass kick or like I know always in like the college football playoffs they have like the Dr Pepper throw it in like the hole. I think
Yep.
that'd be awesome to bring them all together and like throw out that reward and I don't know give them a cash prize maybe a gift card or a shirt or sweatshirt. That's just I'm not too sure how to bring them all out, but I think that is like one easy, simple way to bring people out because everyone, what you can't go wrong with getting a little reward if just for participating or anything.
Well, and I'm up in the press box, calling the game, and I get there, pretty early, and so I have to remind myself, I have to kind of peek over and take a look and kind of get an assessment for how many people are there. Or sometimes I'll walk out to the balcony or go up to the roof if the balcony isn't open, just to try and get an idea of the amount of folks that are there, and it's like to me, there's the fan experience there, that just continues to kind of bleed into how well the team does, and the team can feed off of that and feed off of that energy. um so it's certainly something that I know the basketball team leaned into a lot kind of last year, so I'm curious to see how they lean into it more this year. Um but certainly the football kind of game day experience is something that I think is on a lot of parents' minds, and
Yeah.
obviously you guys would benefit from that as well. So um now, do you have many family or friends that stream the game at all?
I don't know about stream. So Canton's only like an hour and 20. So I got like, there's like 20 people that come every weekend tailgate with mom and dad.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean the stream. I've watched back a little bit before the film comes out, and it's great. I mean, it's perfect if you ask me for what we got. You know what I mean? But the family comes up, and my dad's a pretty vocal guy, so he's always hooting and hollering, and he tries to get people around him on his feet. So yeah, he's probably my number one fan. Him and my mom, they're always loud when it comes to football games. And
I
then
like it.
yeah, but I know my mom watched a couple of streams because my sister last year was a senior and she had like homecoming and all that good stuff, so she didn't want to miss that. And
Hmm.
she said she watched it and she said it was awesome. She said she was always waiting to hear old Jake's name called. She said you did a very good job. Yeah,
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been one thing that I get it. We only have 5 home games, but the opportunity to miss on those, is pretty slim, and not even just for us, but for the other team, right? That's traveling. I mean, if coming from Milliken, they may not have a lot of folks. They're going to come down Carthage, or Carroll. They're probably not going to travel really well. And now we'll have Concordia, Wisconsin will be joining us in like a year or two. Um, so I think so much about like what can we do? I mean, I volunteer my time. That's kind of my thing. But it's like, man, it'd be great to have like 1 or 2 cameras, or just,
yeah,
one nice camera that works all the time. We run into some of those, technical, difficulties, but I'm always curious to see, hear kind of people's feedback on it. And obviously I can control very little, but it's a ton of fun. So I'm glad at least when they've watched it, they've enjoyed it. So
yeah.
that's good to
Sideline
hear.
cam would be cool, like a sideline camera. I think that would be sick.
That would be awesome. I think the one thing like Augie is missing is we don't really have that type of program, or like I think like North Park, and maybe Illinois Wesleyan. I know there's a few other schools, in the CCIW that have that actual major in that track. So that's kind of a requirement for them to be a part of it. I'm like, man, we got a film. We have a film degree. It'd be great to kind of leverage some of them as well. And but um well, hey, well, let's switch a little bit here and talk about um what's something maybe about you that many people may not know about you.
Oh, uh, I'm big into TV shows recently. That's one thing I've picked up a lot, watching them a lot. I guess that's not very interesting, but I just rewatched Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, so that's might be my favorite. Man, I'm trying to think of something. Man, I don't know. I got a dog at home, Gigi. She's my girl. German Shepherd. Can't go wrong with a German Shepherd.
No, I have one in my house right here. So he's about
She's big.
128 pounds.
Yeah, I got a. She's mixed with a Great Pyrenees, so she's pretty big, energetic. She's still pretty young, so she's still got that energetic bone in her body.
Yeah,
But yeah,
such great
I guess
dogs
I'm just
though.
yeah. I don't got too much interesting things going on. I guess.
Um, well, what's been maybe a favorite memory, so far over the course of your Augie career?
Ooh, I would say beating Wash U my sophomore year. I think that was the coolest thing. I mean, going into a game that you're not supposed to win and coming out on top is the best feeling probably football can give you. Uh, Other than that, I would say the senior year has been great to me. Obviously, looking at it, I think I have my most receptions in yards and TDs this year. But aside that, like the guys this year have been great. The freshmen are great. They're figuring it out, and they're always there to hype you up and expecting you to show them how how stuff's done here, the Augie way and everything. But yeah, and then aside that, I'd say finding a great group of guys that I hang out with. Like Braden, Toby, Connor O'Boyle, Darren, Adam, Borges, and Trevor. They're some great guys, and Gus and Goose. Can't forget
Mhm.
Goose. But yeah, there's some great guys, and they've made this whole experience even better being here at Augustana.
Who maybe over the course of your, kind of early career was, a good mentor to you or made a pretty good impact, on you as you were, freshman, sophomore.
Yeah, so I would probably say my first year I had Jack Schmitz here, and that was he kind of took me under his wing. He would always hit me up on like a Wednesday during camp or like a random Tuesday. Like, why don't you come over to my apartment and hang out for a little bit, watch some TV, watch some baseball, basketball, play a little Wii or Xbox. So that was nice having him to get in the kind of out of my comfort zone and being able to make me like camp a lot more as a freshman because that is probably the hardest thing to do here. Being on the football team, being away from your parents for the first time,
Yep.
it's hard. And him kind of taking me on my wing was awesome, and having him show me kind of around, even though he just transferred in like I think that spring. It was really nice to have him.
What type of advice, or words of wisdom, do you give some of the undergrads?
Yeah, so I mean, I just tell the guys, give it a chance, give it a long, hard chance because you never know how things are going to play out. It's always next man up. Have we seen this year with injuries and guys going down? But a lot of the guys, they're always talking about what they're going to do next semester or something. And I'm like, just stick on to it a little bit, give it an off season, and you're going to meet a
Mhm.
great group of guys, and you guys are going to get even tighter and tighter as the year goes on. J term is always a great experience for those underclassmen to get closer with the guys that are older and build that strong bond that we're always striving to make even stronger.
It's interesting this week. I saw, it was a picture on X somewhere and it showed, a senior football player, kind of in their full gear, just kind of looking away, staring at nothing. And what I thought was interesting is I was thinking about kind of that picture. Right, this was probably the last time he ever would wear pads. I mean, you think about like, you know, football's interesting, right? Because in baseball, you can go play catch, you can hit. Basketball, you can go shoot around, you can go play in intramural games. Football, yeah, there's like you can go play flag football, and I know a bunch of us guys, that graduated, went and played in some competitive leagues, with each other, and but football's just interesting, right? Because it's one of those sports that there's a different feeling of, putting those pads on, getting taped up, putting that helmet on, to go kind of play your last time. And, as you think about, that WashU game is also senior day. Um, as you think about your career here, just what has kind of football meant to you, over this time?
For me, so I started in like fifth grade, I want to say, and like I wouldn't say I liked it the most because I was a pretty soft kid, I would say then, too nice. But yeah, I mean, for me, like right when I got to high school, I had a great coach there my freshman sophomore year, Cody Myers, and he focused more on making connections with players and making us like better men instead of just still being boys. He got us out into the community, meeting new people, the older community, helping them out. So that was awesome. And then when I got here, like it's you never really want to have like tough conversations if you're doing bad, like mentally and stuff. But like if you really truly are, like everyone here is like growing up and they've matured, and you can actually talk to these people like men instead of just like kind of holding it in by yourself if you're struggling.
Mm.
So I think being able to finally kind of like I think football totally makes you like makes you it kind of made me grow up faster if you ask me. I think it made me uh more of an adult over my past 10, 12 years playing. So I would say yeah, it definitely made me more mature and more of a made me the man I am today. This is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's well said. Well, hey, to wrap things up, man, I know you got to get to lifting. If there's anyone, in particular you'd like to thank, family, friends, coaches, shout outs, any final thoughts you have, kind of the floor is all yours.
Yeah, so like to shout out the boys back home, Drew, Bendy, T Rhodes, and all of them. They're great guys. My mom and dad, obviously, without them, I wouldn't be anything today that I am. And then, my brother and sister, they're great. They try to make as many games as they can and root me on. So yeah.
Well said, Jake. Thanks again for, taking some time out today. Let's go beat the Firebirds, man, and control our destiny. Let's go play one more game. Up in Wisconsin, beat them, and obviously we got to take care of Wash U, and that's going to be a good test. But again, at home, senior day, this offense is clicking. It's doing awesome. Ride the wave, man, and let's go play one more after Wash U. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
well, Jake, thanks again for connecting with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. That was awesome. Appreciate you.
If you like today's episode, make sure to just subscribe to the Viking Press Pass. 4 letters, 1 year, 4 letters, 1 month.